Students, in the previous video lecture, we have discussed about damped oscillations and examples of damped oscillations, difference between free oscillations and damped oscillations. Free oscillations are those oscillations amplitude will remain same. Damped oscillations are those oscillations amplitude decreases periodically with respect to time. Now we will derive an equation for damped oscillations, equation of motion of a particle which is executing damped oscillations. As I already told you in the previous video session, we have learned that the force which is responsible for damped oscillations is damping force, and this damping force is directly proportional to velocity of the particle, where B is called damping constant, B is called damping constant, and the V is velocity of oscillating object, where V is called velocity of oscillating object or oscillating body. And this negative sign represents that negative sign represents F is opposite to V. Force acting on the particle is opposite to that of velocity of the particle. Velocity and force both are opposite in nature. Now, overall, if a body is executing damped oscillations, the net force acting on such object is sum of damping force and restoring force. So I will write F net is equal to F restoring plus F damping, and this F will be equal to restoring force is minus K into X, and damping force is minus B into V. That is damping force we already have learned. F is equal to minus B into V. So remember, damping force always decreases the magnitude of velocity of the particle. If velocity is upward, damping force will be in downward direction. If velocity is downward, damping force will be in upward. It decreases the magnitude of velocity. So F is equal to minus Kx minus B into V. Now this can be simply written as F is equal to Ma, which is minus K into X minus B into V, can be written as dx divided by dt, where velocity V is equal to dx divided by dt, and m into A can be written as d square x divided by dt square plus B into dx divided by dt plus K into x is equal to 0. Now from here, just you can bring this m on m, or you can divide with m. That gives you d square x by dt square plus b by m into dx divided by dt plus k by m into x is equal to 0. Now let me consider this as equation 1, and let B by m is equal to 2 gamma omega naught square is equal to K by m. This I am considering it as equation number 2. Just we are assuming that we are assuming that B by m, instead of writing always B by m, I'll just write it as 2 gamma, and instead of writing K by m, I'll write it as omega naught square. So from this, you can just write this expression as d square x by dt square plus 2 gamma into dx by dt plus omega naught square into x is equal to 0. If you observe this carefully, this expression is second order differential equation. This is second order differential equation have solution in the form of the solution of above expression can be in the form of x is equal to a into cos of omega dash into t plus pi, or this can be even written as x is equal to xm e power minus gamma into t cos of omega dash into t plus pi. So above expression, this is a differential equation, second order differential equation. For every differential equation will have one solution. Now this second order differential equation will have a solution, and that solution will be in the form of this expression x is equal to a cos omega dash t plus pi, where a is variable with respect to time, and that is given by xm into e power minus gamma t into cos of omega dash t plus pi. And this expression where a is amplitude can be written as x power xm into e power minus gamma into t represents amplitude of damped oscillations. It represents amplitude of damped oscillations. So clearly you can understand that this equation, the final equation which I am writing it with red ink, that is representing a simple harmonic motion, because it is in the form of x is equal to a cos omega t plus pi. It is representing a simple harmonic motion. So clearly damped oscillations are also simple harmonic oscillations, but the amplitude of such damped oscillations are not constant. They are variable with respect to time. So we have got equation for amplitude, that is x is equal to xm. I'm sorry, it's not x. It is a is equal to xm e power minus gamma into t, where xm is equal to initial amplitude. So initial amplitude is xm, or you can write it as a naught. I'm just representing it as a naught. So clearly I can write amplitude of damped oscillations as a naught e power minus gamma can be written as b by 2m into t. And clearly this equation I am considering it as equation number 3, because already we have two equations. Now from this clearly at time t is equal to 0. At time t is equal to 0, that means initially when the oscillations are started, at that time you can write a is equal to a naught e power minus 0. E power minus 0 is a naught divided by e power 0. E power 0 is equal to 1, that is equal to a naught. So a is equal to a naught initially. So that means when the oscillations are started, at that time it is starting with amplitude a is equal to a naught. So in this example you can take amplitude a naught is equal to 1 meter. Slowly with respect to time, what is happening? Amplitude is decreasing with respect to time. So as time t increases, what happens to this a naught? A naught will be increased. Sorry, a naught will be decreased. So I can just write it as at time t is equal to 2m divided by b. At a time t is equal to 2m divided by b, I can write a is equal to a naught e power minus b by 2m into 2m divided by b. This gets cancelled. So a will be equal to a naught into e power minus 1, that is a naught divided by e. So a will be equal to 0.37 times that of a naught, since 1 by e is equal to 0.37. So clearly after time t is equal to 2m divided by b, amplitude is decreased to 0.37 times a naught, that is 0.63 a naught is decreased, right? So amplitude is decreased to 63 percentage of initial value. So 63 percentage is being decreased and finally left over with only 37 percentage of the initial amplitude. So clearly equation for amplitude of damped oscillations, equation for amplitude of damped oscillations can be written as A is equal to A naught e power minus b by 2m into t. This equation is very important because it represents amplitude of damped oscillations, right? And the frequency of damped oscillations also varies, and that frequency is omega dash, which is equal to under root omega naught square minus gamma square, that is under root omega naught square minus gamma is equal to b square divided by 2m whole square. So this is under root omega naught square minus b square divided by 4m square, which is equation for omega dash. So clearly what is happening to angular frequency? Angular frequency is also changing with respect to time because omega naught is the initial frequency, initial angular frequency. Omega naught is decreased by a factor of b square divided by 4m square. So omega naught decreases. Finally, omega dash is the frequency of damped oscillations and omega dash is less than omega naught. Clearly from above equation we can get it. From this equation we can write omega dash is less than omega naught. Angular frequency also decreases with respect to time. Angular frequency omega dash is less than omega naught. So this is equation 1, which represents amplitude of damped oscillations, where A is equal to damped oscillations. Amplitude of damped oscillations at t second. And we also have got equation omega dash is equal to under root omega naught square minus b square divided by 4m square. This is equation number 2, where omega dash is angular frequency of damped oscillations. So omega naught is the angular frequency of damped oscillations. Now clearly omega naught is greater than that of omega dash. So I can write omega dash is less than omega naught. That means angular frequency decreases. So clearly I can write, as you know, omega is equal to 2 pi divided by capital T. Therefore I can write time period t is equal to 2 pi divided by under root omega naught square minus b square divided by 4m square. This is equation for time period. Time period of damped oscillations. This is equation for time period of damped oscillations. And clearly, as amplitude of damped oscillations is variable with respect to time, we know that energy E is equal to half m omega square a square. This is energy of oscillations. So clearly, for damped oscillations, energy will be half m omega square into a. What is a? A we have got it as a naught into e power minus b by 2m into t whole square. Now from this you can write down even still by resolving, energy of damped oscillations will be half m omega square a naught square into e power minus b by m into t. So this is final energy for damped oscillations, or you can even write it as energy of damped oscillations as half k a naught square e power minus b by m into t. Energy is also variable. Energy of damped oscillations decreases exponentially because amplitude, like energy, is directly proportional to amplitude whole square. As amplitude is decreasing exponentially, energy also decreases exponentially. So both for damped oscillations, energy also decreases, and as well as amplitude also decreases exponentially. Amplitude goes on decreases with time, energy also decreases with respect to time. After infinite time, amplitude will become zero and also energy becomes zero. That means finally, after infinite time, the oscillations die out. Oscillations completely become zero. Oscillations die out in damped oscillations. So we have got A is equal to A naught e power minus b by 2m into t. Now let us consider t is equal to 2m divided by b, called relaxation time. This is called relaxation time, and the relaxation time is denoted with tau, which is equal to 2m divided by b. So after one relaxation time, A is equal to A naught e power minus 1. So after one relaxation time, what you are getting here? A is equal to A naught into e power minus 1. That is, A is equal to 0.37 times that of A naught. So that is, amplitude decreases 63% of its initial value. This is in case of amplitude. Likewise, we have energy E is equal to E naught into e power minus b by m into t, and here relaxation time is tau is equal to m divided by b. That gives you E is equal to E naught into e power minus 1. E power minus 1 will be E naught divided by E. This is 0.37 times that of E naught. That means energy decreases 63% of its initial value. So energy decreases to 63% of its initial value. So therefore clearly after one relaxation time, after one relaxation time, energy and amplitude decreases by 63% of initial. So that is about relaxation time. Relaxation time of damped oscillations. Yeah. So students, we have learned about free oscillations. Free oscillations are also called natural oscillations. For natural oscillations, amplitude is equal to constant. Every body have its own amplitude. Every body will have its own frequency, and with that frequency, if the oscillations are made, then such oscillations are called free oscillations or natural oscillations. So every body has its own natural frequency. Every body has its own natural frequency. If oscillations are made with natural frequency, without any decrease of amplitude, they are called free oscillations or natural oscillations. They are called free oscillations or natural oscillations. That is point number one, which we have discussed. And then we have learned about damped oscillations. What are damped oscillations? In case of damped oscillations, we have discussed that periodic vibrations or periodic oscillations of decreasing amplitude. Periodic oscillations of decreasing amplitude are called damped oscillations. They are called damped oscillations, right? So clearly you can write down, you can differentiate them. Free oscillations and damped oscillations can be differentiated. Let me take here free oscillations. And let me take here damped oscillations. So in case of free oscillations, you can write down the equation. Free oscillations and damped oscillations. So in case of free oscillations, we can write F is equal to minus K into Xn. And whereas in case of damped oscillations, you can write F is equal to minus Kx minus Bv, right? And second equation, we can write in case of free oscillations as X is equal to A into sine of omega t. But whereas in case of damped oscillations, you can write X is equal to A naught e power minus B by 2m into t into cos of omega dash t. cos of omega dash t, right? So clearly amplitude is constant in this case. A is equal to constant. But in case of damped oscillations, A is equal to A naught e power minus b by 2m into t, and omega is equal to constant in case of free oscillations. But here omega dash is equal to under root omega naught square minus gamma whole square. That's what in case of damped oscillations. And clearly energy in free oscillations will be half k a square, where k is equal to m omega square. This is equal to constant. But in case of damped oscillations, energy is E equal to E naught e power minus b by m into t. It is variable with respect to time. These are comparisons between free oscillations and damped oscillations. In general, all oscillations are damped oscillations which are practically taking place. But sometimes if we are dealing with damped oscillations, in order to maintain their amplitude constant, we can give an additional force such that its amplitude may remain constant. Such oscillations are called forced oscillations. Students, we already have discussed comparisons between free oscillations and forced oscillations. Sorry, free oscillations and damped oscillations. In damped oscillations, amplitude decreases periodically with respect to time. Now, if you observe the animation which is playing on the screen, a person who is sitting on the cradle, a person who is sitting on the swing, he is oscillating. Okay. Suppose if the person who is standing back, if he is not pushing him, obviously after some time that swing will come to rest and the person who is sitting in the swing will remain stationary. But in order to avoid that damping, suppose if back person is absent, then those oscillations will become damped oscillations because amplitude decreases with respect to time. But what is this person doing by standing back? He is pushing periodically every time. For every one oscillation, he is applying some force on the swing, and as a result it is maintaining constant oscillations. And as a person who is standing back and forcing him to maintain constant amplitude, such oscillations are called forced oscillations. So in case of periodic oscillations, we have learned there should be a periodic force. In case of forced oscillations, constantly the person who is standing here is applying a periodic force. That means simply once he push and leave, that will not become constant amplitude. Constantly for every one oscillation, he should apply the force in equal interval of time. Therefore, that force which this person is applying is periodic force. So if a periodic force of constant magnitude, the magnitude of this person's force should be maintained constant, is applied on already oscillating body, it maintains oscillations with a constant amplitude. Such oscillations are called forced oscillations. Now, for forced oscillations, there are three forces acting. What are they? F will be equal to, one force is restoring force. Definitely there will be a restoring force, then only it will become oscillations. So one is restoring force. And the other one is already there is a damping force acting on that object. That is the reason why it is coming to rest. So therefore, there should be a damping force. And along with the damping, in order to maintain constant magnitude, you are again applying one additional force. That is what? F, and that is applied periodic force. Applied periodic force. So overall, on forced oscillations, there are three forces acting on the object. On oscillating body, there will be three forces: restoring force, damping force, and applied periodic force. And about periodic oscillations, equations regarding periodic oscillations, we will learn in next video lecture.